Hi and welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is a reaction video for the second episode of the only season of Manimal. Last time we saw the pilot episode of this short-lived 80s show, we discovered Dr. Jonathan Chase hunting down a gang of gun runners along with his colleague Ty. We find out that Dr. Chase, or JC as he likes to be called, has the ability to turn into any animal that he wants to, although we've only seen a couple so far. He uses these abilities to track down the criminals, along with police detective Brooke Mackenzie, whose partner was killed by them during a chase. They finally stop the bad guys on their ship, exporting the guns to their buyers. So let's see what happens in this episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here, and at the end of the reaction I'll be discussing what happened and my thoughts about it. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1.
Illusions. You see it, you don't see it.
Oh, I hate it when they do previews. It's like having a spoiler before the episode, which they provide. And it's a different actor playing Ty from the pilot episode.
A trio that stands against the crime that breeds in the concrete jungles. The world of Manimal.
Oh, the title kind of works, but I wonder what sort of discussion they had over the sort of around the table, whether they thought it was a good idea to call it or not, whether there were arguments about it. I like the analogy they said about the being in the concrete jungle. I like that. That's quite nice. That fits well with the TV show. And its sort of theme. So that's clever.
My enemies remind me why I never became a cop.
Stakeouts.
So the big guy ain't in there. I'm gonna personally see you do 2 life sentences. This is where they make the payoff.
So it looks like it is actually a police stakeout, because you've got the lieutenant and Brooke there, and an informant. Why is JC, let's call him, and Ty there as well? And they're right behind them, so they must know that they're there. They must be there with them. In an open-top car, very visible to everyone. Why would they be on a stakeout? He's a police consultant, not a policeman.
Go.
Surely it would have been better to have come down the road with lights off and sirens off, and then turn them on when a bit closer.
So you're the big guy, huh?
Why, how flattering.
I got a guy sitting in that car over there. He's handing me your head on a silver platter.
Oh, that's nice. Give up the informant.
Read the license plate, Lieutenant. You'll understand the message I'm trying to convey to you.
That's a really bad accent. Diplomatic immunity.
You see, I happen to be the information officer of the Bulgarian embassy. And as such, I'm entitled to full diplomatic immunity.
I've never fully understood diplomatic immunity. I understand the reason for it, because it's hard for us to understand it in, let's say, westernized civilizations. That's probably the best way of putting it. Because we don't do what I'm about to say, I don't think anyway. But I think that in some countries, relations are so bad with other countries that I think in the past there have been times where diplomats have been let's say fitted up for crimes and as retaliation for diplomatic problems, basically things that happen in different countries. So diplomats have been used as pawns in diplomatic relations. So I assume it's kind of like a recognised worldwide thing that diplomats have diplomatic immunity when they're in the country, so that can't happen. So a diplomat from another country can't be used as a pawn, but then it can be used to this is obviously an extreme case, but I'm sure there have been times where it's been used to person who's got the diplomatic immunity's advantage to get around laws, and obviously that's awful. I don't know how the exceptions work in the. I don't know if it's a rule or it can't be a law, diplomatic immunity, because we wouldn't have a worldwide law like that. It wouldn't be recognised. I wonder if it's only something like if for people who are signed up to the United Nations, countries that are part of the United Nations perhaps have diplomats, and to be part of the United Nations you have to recognise diplomatic immunity. I might try and look into it and have some information here, but that kind of makes sense. So there'll be some countries that don't have diplomats because they're not signed up to the right accords, and don't recognise it, so they don't send diplomats there. That makes sense. But yeah, it's a weird thing, and I know a lot of TV shows play on it. I don't know how much, how many problems happen in real life.
We had the goods on him and we had to let him go.
Yeah, you told him as an informant.
If you'll excuse me, I think I'll follow his next move.
Why are they there? I'm assuming Hawk. Oh, we haven't seen the Hawk transformation. Oh, how is that not scary to a kid in the 80s? I know I was, and this was on a lot earlier than I thought it was. It's almost like a horror film in some ways. Animals and illusions.
Relax, baby. I'll have you settled in a minute.
I find it highly unlikely they'd be shipping a tiger in a cage like that, out in the open like that.
Ah, Mr. Harris.
Smuggling's such a lonely profession.
Yeah.
Perhaps we could took your partner to take your place, and then again he's so honest he'd probably tell us it.
Okay, you win, Gregory.
What's he smuggling?
Mr. Harris, I think we'll have to kill him earlier than planned.
So, you got two halves of an illusion team. One of them seems to be honest, and the other one is smuggling something in for that guy who's got diplomatic immunity. He's the illusionist has said he'll do one more, and it looks like the smuggler, the man in charge, is going to kill him now because he's only going to do one more. He is a loose end basically. So yeah, gotta get rid of him.
Jonathan Chase, Special Police Task Force.
Special Police Task Force. He was a consultant last time.
It's not you I'm after, but Mr. Zoltan Gregory.
If he should find out you're there...
Ah, but I insist that he does. You see, I intend to make Mr. Gregory's life as miserable as possible.
That sounds risky. Got like Automan with their glow. They're no Penn and Teller.
I should warn the audience that this gentleman is Mr. Jonathan Chase, a special consultant with the New York City Police Department.
So they're specifically announcing their names. It's risky for the illusionist, though. That's kind of like another nail in his coffin, as far as that diplomat's concerned.
Okay.
Okay.
This was Melody Anderson's last performance on TV after the unfortunate accidents with the saw. I do know how they do this trick. I'm not going to tell you. But they normally do it with not with a random person from the audience. It normally needs somebody who's part of the act.
We have to leave right now, so have fun trying to put her back together again.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you had to save half a cop, which half would you save?
I'm not going to answer that question. It seems wrong on many levels.
Oh, come on. Hey, ow! Told you never to hit that cat.
That's okay, sugar. We're going on in a minute.
Yeah, we're going on in a minute after the man has riled you up and made you angry by hitting you with a stick. Makes perfect timing.
And those of you who'd wish me to save this half.
good that the audience paid to come and see him do the act and not them. They got to him. I say, it was risky, all of this.
Harris. Harris.
Oh, it looks... So it's like claw marks, but obviously that's been set up. He's not going to have locked himself in a cage without the tiger in there. So someone's, I don't know, either faked the wounds or made the tiger attack him and then put his body in there. There's obviously that diplomat.
What do you mean the cat killed him? How could the cat... Oh, a big cat.
Cats are pretty vicious things. Normal little cats, they plot. They plan your demise.
Killed with one swipe of a cat's paw across the jugular.
I mean, Tipsy wouldn't hurt anyone.
Well, it's easy to check for blood on the claws.
I refuse to answer any further questions on the grounds of diplomatic immunity.
Can you just walk around with a gun and just shoot someone in the head? The police tell them to go, oh, diplomatic immunity, and then just walk off. I need to look into the rules behind this. It's crazy. Just walks past that nurse, whack in the face, and then turns around and goes, diplomatic immunity.
No, please. You can't.
Look, I know how you feel about it, but the law says...
Case. Lieutenant.
Bit check in first. You don't know it was the tiger.
All I'm asking is a little time to find out what happened and why.
An investigation, for instance.
I did my share and I want my money. Now, part of that shipment is mine.
It's a shame. Such a beautiful animal locked in the cage like that. Small cage as well.
I'd like to offer you some employment. There's a great deal of money involved.
I'll do it.
I would give up 2 sale days at Bloomingdale's to put him away. Jonathan, your tires are gone.
I was just about to say, it's probably a bad idea to leave a convertible with the top open in a place like that, back then especially. But his tyres have gone, so it doesn't really matter if it's convertible or not. Oh, this is almost exactly the scene that was used in Automan.
What's wrong?
Ooh, that's interesting. So he heard it, and the way he kind of leant forward like that, it's kind of like he was using powers or abilities. It wasn't just like a normal person hearing. So does he have sort of enhanced abilities from being able to turn, like enhanced hearing and sight, even in human form? Not quite sure how that would work, because in theory he said he can turn into any animal, so does that mean he can have literally any ability of any animal? So, interesting. I'm going to do a check again with the that episode of Automan where there was an identical scene, and I'm wondering if it was actually the same thing. The explosion they might have used it in both episodes, although they had Jack's place in the background here, and you saw them in the taxi when it pulled up with Jack's place in the background. So, and it was obviously her. You can see the blue dress. So I wonder if I can't which was done first, Automan or Manimal. But I wonder if one of them reused the scene. I'll have a look and I'll put information here. So who did that? I'm assuming the diplomat.
Come on, Tipsy. Strike. Come on, strike.
She's playing more than striking. He's restricted by the bars.
Somebody wants to get some people into a taxi. It's got a bomb inside.
Pretty nice setup.
What does killing the police officers do, though, on the case? They bring in more police officers. And it's a higher profile case now because a police officer and a consultant have died or killed, so it seems counterintuitive.
Well, you've made some sizable deposits within 2 weeks after every Harris and Ross show returned from abroad.
So is he the manager for the illusionists?
Gregory has diplomatic immunity.
You don't.
You won't like serving time in prison, Mr. Manning. The wine list is very small.
Toilet wine.
Now, this time we're going to pay you before the whole shipment is sold.
Yeah, why?
Never mind why, just be there.
Okay, so I think he might have said get rid of Williams, which is that guy. So he must have either killed the illusionist or set up the death of the illusionist in some way. So now they're going to get rid of him to cover their tracks, which means that the manager that we just saw a minute ago is heavily involved. He's quite high up and quite senior in all of this, so obviously I assume just below the diplomat. How on earth has a diplomat got time to be organising and running all of this? He's meant to be a diplomat as well and doing a diplomat's job. Blimey. So are we going to see JC's car? Because they said it was a Ferrari, but it doesn't look like a Ferrari I've ever seen. Take it back. Is this a very old style Ferrari? Just the angles we were looking at it, the shape didn't look right, but yeah, it is now. You had a Rolls Royce in the pilot. Hard to do a quick 3-point turn like that in a limo. That's the same shot they used in the pilot episode, because that was Brooke following in the car behind.
Here it is. Might as well. Smells like they carried animals in here.
I can't believe they'd carried animals in a truck like that. It would surely have to be a specially set up. Oh, maybe things were different back then, but certainly now you'd have to have a special van set up for the transportation of animals with proper air, lighting, heat, everything. Yeah, I think things were a bit different back then, though, weren't they? Who is it? Assume it's Williams. Yes.
The trainer.
So we got him.
Hey! Hey!
Well, that seems a bit stupid, him going straight to the crime scene. You think he'd keep his distance from it all. That's why he's got everyone else doing the work for him.
I got him!
Why the hell have you captured it with a net?
But what do we do with him?
Call the zoo. I bet they'd love to have a hawk like this.
Bloody hell! What the hell are you teaching that kid?
Well, thank you.
They're on their way, son.
Flipping arrest them both.
I didn't mean to hurt him.
I'm sorry, son. He looks dead.
Playing dead. Yeah, should have scratched them before you left. That's awful that they let the kid do that. Jeez. That's quite dangerous. He was going quite a speed there, going around that corner right by the water. I still got to get out though.
Jump, girl, jump.
I'd still be stuck because I can't swim. That's a hell of a stunt, actually, because I mean, they really have put that truck in the water. I'm assuming they have to get it back out again afterwards. They can't just leave it in the water like that. So that would have cost a fair bit.
There were large cash deposits made into a secret account of Gregory's.
Would they be able to look at Gregory, who's the diplomat's bank accounts? Again, he's got diplomatic immunity. He's told us enough times. And he's obviously from another country, you know, the government side of things. Would they be allowed to look at his bank accounts? I very much doubt it.
They were using the show.
Certainly a great place to hide things.
And if they haven't sold whatever it is they were trying to smuggle yet, then it's still got to be in their magic boxes or their transport cages or somewhere.
I've always liked, I think it's mostly Ferraris that do it, the lights dipping down and going up like that. That's quite cool. Yeah, not great to surprise someone with a gun.
These cages have false bottoms.
Why are only they there? Why is there a team of police officers there?
Furs must be worth millions.
Yes, highly illegal millions.
They're real furs.
Look. Strike. This was how they did it.
Yeah, but a very simple test by a medical examiner would have been able to know whether it was the actual tiger that had committed it by the size of its claws and the wounds. I mean, they've just assumed the tiger killed him originally. That's just shoddy police work. You've got to prove it, especially if the animal's going to be destroyed because of it. Why is he doing all his own work? That's crazy. He should pay people to do all this for him. And the manager's there. Again, why would he be there? You pay goons to do this.
New illusion?
I assume Panther again.
Hurry up, Jonathan.
Yeah, it takes a while to change. Well, I only knocked him over. Not like he did anything.
I got you.
Again, I only knocked him over for a second. He'd be back up. It's not like he knocked him unconscious or anything.
No, don't. Please.
Please, call him off. You're not going to leave me here with him.
I've got no choice. You see, I can't arrest you, so I've got to leave you here.
Can't have it both ways.
I want to waive my diplomatic immunity status. Throw myself on the mercy of the sovereign state of New York.
Yeah, but he says that, and then he walks outside with her, and then just says, "Oh, I didn't say that. I've got diplomatic immunity," and just walks off. So that's just meaningless. Unless she has a recording of him saying it, or there are witnesses. None of those guys who were there are going to be witnesses for what he said, because they're on his side. And obviously, the doctor's not there. He's a Panther, so he can't be a witness either. So he's doing it on his own. Well, he's going to do all right now. Then, if he can do the act on his own, he's got. They were fairly successful beforehand, so he's got that notoriety from the two of them doing it. So he's already famous from that. People will go to see him because they already know who he is. Plus, people will go as like a sympathy thing. And he gets to keep all the money now as well. So yeah, he's on to a winner. I didn't think that was actually a bad episode. I thought it was quite good. The diplomatic immunity thing annoyed me, but it actually had a decent pace. As always, there's things that don't quite make sense and have been done for the episode. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It's quite a big stunt they did with that truck. It did look like a real truck driving off the end of the pier into the water. It wasn't a model or anything. I don't think it was the same truck that we saw for the other shots. It was an older truck, I think. So they obviously just chucked an old truck in the water. But they would have had to have got it back out again afterwards. They can't just leave it in there. There's pollution in the water. So, yeah, it would have cost a fair bit for them to have cranes to bring a truck like that back out of the water. So, yeah, very expensive stunt. Yeah. I didn't think it was that bad. I've heard some really bad things about Manimal. I think it's something like voted. It's certainly the top 100 of worst TV shows of all time or something. I think it's quite high up in the list, but certainly this one wasn't bad. The pilot wasn't great. And there's only 8 episodes in the whole series. It's a lot shorter than I thought it was. I thought it was 13. So there's only 6 left. So yeah, we'll see what the rest of them are like. Maybe this is peaked at the beginning and the rest aren't so great. But let me know what you thought about this one in the comments below, and I shall see you for the next one. Be seeing you.